North Korea is holding a key party meeting to review its defense strategy amid rising tensions on the peninsula. Pyongyang says North Korean leader Kim Jong-un participated in the opening of the event on Friday. North Korean media say the meeting comes against the backdrop of changing international situation and Pyongyang's growing ties with Moscow and Beijing. Tensions keep growing on the Korean Peninsula since the arrival of a U.S. nuclear-powered submarine in South Korea on Friday. The deployment of USS Michigan is part of a deal Seoul inked with Washington in April in the wake of Pyongyang's missile and nuclear programs. North Korea says its missile launches are in response to joint military drills by the U.S. and its regional allies. It says the maneuvers threaten its security and are actually rehearsals for an invasion. Jennifer Chang is our correspondent in the South Korean capital, Seoul, and joins us now. Jennifer, so what can we expect from this party meeting?
Well, this meeting will be held at least through today and may well continue beyond today because it's an extremely important meeting to decide the future course of North Korea's diplomatic and defense strategies in the wake of all this hostility coming from the U.S. and South Korea. The U.S. and the South held their largest ever military drills near the inner Korean border, which just wrapped up on Thursday. And this was a series of drills that covered weeks. It was studded with all of the state-of-the-art military equipment of the U.S. and South Korea. And the North just got very alarmed because it sees these drills as a rehearsal for a full-scale invasion. So it paused a 2-month hold on missile tests and actually fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles at night after the last day of these drills, where the South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol, who is extremely hardline against the North, had presided over the drills in an extremely rare move. It is not heard of for a South Korean president to be presiding over these U.S.-South Korea drills. And after the North fired off the 2 short-range ballistic missiles Thursday night, the U.S. got extremely alarmed and they sent over their USS Michigan SSGN class submarine, which has guided missiles. This is the first time in 6 years that the U.S. has sent this class of submarine over here to South Korea. And of course, 6 years ago in 2017, former U.S. President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un were engaged in a fire and fury war of words that nearly turned into a shooting war by accident. So tensions are extremely high here, as high as they've been in 2017. And people are getting extremely worried about the situation, which seems to be escalating with no end in sight, with the North
So, Jennifer,
conducting a
just
record.
very quickly, as much as Pyongyang is feeling provoked by the U.S. and its key ally South Korea under this current government, it's not backing down, is it?
It's not going to back down. These missile tests have put a huge strain on its economy, and it thought that it had proved with its test of a solid fuel ICBM this year that it has no more progress that it needs to do with these tests. It has conducted all kinds of short-range ballistic missile tests showing that it can nuke any point in South Korea, that it can nuke the U.S. and South Korean forces stationed in the South. But the U.S. and South Korea keep escalating their military drills. They're going to hold naval drills now, having just wrapped up these largest ever live fire drills near the inner Korean border. There's no end in sight. And the North is not going to back down either. They can get help from Russia and China, their allies. The North's relations are getting closer to Russia and China due to tensions between the U.S. and China, and because Russia and the U.S. are at odds over the war in Ukraine.
Jennifer, thank you very much indeed. Jennifer Chang there, our correspondent, joining us live from the South Korean capital, Seoul.